Hello, friends. Welcome to another edition of Sunday Brunch here on Love Wrestling. Spencer Love, very excited to be here. Finally, I am back and better than ever, to quote one of the all-time friggin' greats out there, and joined by three other all-time friggin' greats here on this morning's show. Of course, if you're tuned in on Twitch, you're tuned in on YouTube, you're tuned in on Facebook Live. Thank you wherever you may be. Feel free to throw some comments in the chat. If you're on Twitch, if you're on Facebook specifically, feel free to throw us a like, a share, a subscription. And if you're on YouTube, throw a like on this video and, of course, a subscription as well. But however you choose to support, it is always appreciated. If you want to go a little bit above and beyond, you can feel free to sponsor us like the great folks at RK Athletics have done. Give them a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RK Athletics 1. If you're in Edmonton, of course, you can take advantage of actually getting in some one-on-one personal physical training. But if you're not located in YEG, make sure you take advantage of some of the online options that Rich offers. And of course, let's thank the fine individuals at Manscaped. Head to manscaped.com and enter the code LOVEWRESTLING for 20% off of your entire Manscaped order and free shipping. You want to look good everywhere, folks. It ain't just looking good in the facial area. You're taking care of yourself, from top to bottom, and of course for Manscaped products specifically somewhere in the torso area as well. Zach, good morning. Good to see you in the comments section as well. Bobby, good to see you as well. We're going to definitely be talking about No Surrender as we make our way through Sunday Brunch, because lots of great stuff coming out of the show last night. And Pluggo throwing up some of the brand new emotes we've got there on Twitch.
Is there a goose one?
Subscribers. We kept the goose one. He just didn't throw it up there. But of course, we kept the one with the Lucha mask. We're just going to go ahead and blame Pluggo for that one as per usual. Henry, good to see you as well, my friend. This handsome gentleman.
The one time Pluggo doesn't want to blow the budget is he doesn't want to pay me the likeness rights for a new emoji.
That's what the issue is. There's the problem. And of course, there we go, throwing them up. And if you're in the comments, feel free to throw in any questions, any comments, of course, any topics of discussion. We've got an hour of course, to chat about all things professional wrestling, give you some sneak peeks of what we've got coming up here on Love Wrestling. And, of course, as I finish my little opening spiel, ask my friends how they're doing. Goose, I saw you last night, but it's good to see you again this morning, man. How are you doing? How are you feeling after your tilt against Nasty Nate Nixon last night for Real Canadian Wrestling?
It was a really interesting night, for sure. My conduct might not have been like always the most normal that I like. It kind of wasn't about going out there and entertaining people for me last night.
Well, Goose, I wasn't going to say it. You totally blew someone off on a hug. You totally faked someone out on a hug. I've never seen you do
I was
that
seeing
before.
red, man. Like in September, I was wrestling with Nasty Nate, and he walloped me with a chair, and he tried to get me in the back with it, but he ended up cracking my head open really badly, and I had to get 2 layers of stitches, and I had like concussion symptoms for like a month and a half. I had to miss some, I was in talks to do some wrestling shows in BC where my friends and family live, and those talks completely fell apart because where are you going to show up in the first show and be like, I'd love to come and be a part of the show,
concussed,
but I can't bump, so and then oddly, for some reason, the RCW office just decided that me and Nate Nixon didn't need to have a one-on-one rematch till 6 months later. But it was 6 months of me kind of stewing and groveling in my own lack of self-worth and just feeling crappy about myself. So yeah, last night I came to settle some business, and I didn't really care what those fans thought about it and what they think of Nate Nixon. They showed up to give him a hero's welcome, and I was pretty offended by that. So hopefully next week I can go back to just entertaining people and making people happy and honking up. But if they're not going to put any appreciation into the effort I'm putting in out there, then maybe they don't deserve to honk.
They can honk themselves.
But everyone here watching Love Wrestling, honk, honk, honk. I'm happy to see you guys.
It is great to see you as well, Goose.
I will say this for Nate Nixon. He did get the win over me. I'll show him that respect. He was the better man last night. And he thought better of accosting the Canadian Goose after the match. That didn't happen. And I appreciate that. I will say he tried to offer me what I felt was a very insincere apology at the start of the match. And, maybe I didn't accept that then, but I know he's sorry now.
Absolutely, my friend. Don't forget to get out there and support your professional, independent wrestling. Hey, that's okay, Goose. You had some stuff to get off your chest. That's what we're here for this morning. We've got a great question in the chat from Basser69. Nice. We'll get to that in a couple of seconds. First things first, though, we're going to say hello, Alex. It's good to see you as well, friend. It's been a while since you and I streamed together. How are things? What's new? What's the most interesting thing that has happened to you in the last month?
Well, I was actually approached by Allison HR, and she told me I'm actually obligated to be on one of these a month. So I'm fulfilling my 1 a month obligation. So here I am.
And it's appreciated that you do it for free to help keep the budget a little bit reimbursed from your Thursday night production duties on B2B.
I got to make sure Pluggo has enough to blow for Thursdays. I just got to, I'm pro bono when I do my stuff around here. So,
Hey, I'm really hoping that Pluggo can round up the money so that I can go on Between Two Beards here pretty soon.
He's got to pay me for
it. You're expensive. You're expensive, man. That's the thing.
I'm not really.
Like I keep telling the Two Beard boys that keeping under budget is what it's all about when talking about being the flagship. And that's why we are the flagship here on Sunday Brunch, just so you know, Pluggo.
I ain't here to argue. And Bobby, I'm closing with you because, of course, Basser69, nice, is in the chat. He's saying hello to you. I'm going to let you give thoughts on how you're doing, but I'm also going to let you be the one to kick off his question here. He says, if we actually get Stone Cold versus KO at Mania and Austin comes out of it in good shape, who do you think his second match will be with? I think that's a great place to kick off Sunday Brunch.
Well, first of all, shout out to my good buddy, Basser69, and thank you for putting the balloons on my front step there yesterday, dude. So thank you. Anyway, as for his question, though, I mean, I'm first of all, very excited to be able to see Stone Cold after all these years. Hopefully this could turn out really well for him. And honestly, I can't see any other direction that I want to go other than seeing him go against the guy who's on God mode right now, Roman Reigns. If we get Stone Cold versus Roman Reigns, I think that is the best follow-up to KO Mania, going up against Stone Cold.
Yeah, great shout. I can't argue with you whatsoever. I think Roman Reigns, like, it's probably the dream match for pretty well anybody returning at this point, at least in a WWE specific context, right?
Yeah.
Alex, thoughts? I'm going to let you continue there as Pluggo throws us under the bus again in an overspending.
I just hope this is kind of a, give me Stone Cold versus KO. They kind of been working towards that here recently, but after that, just leave it be. Go back to the ranch, Rattlesnake, and just have it be a one and done. Maybe come back next year, because you don't want that mystique of Stone Cold to be here and then be gone when you see him try to go for, let's say, like a jackknife power slam on the Undertaker, and he can't do it. If you get what I'm throwing out there, let's have him do.
He's known for doing power slams.
Let's have Stone Cold do one safe match with Kevin Owens, who will bump the hell out of for him.
Yeah.
And then just go back to maybe do the Undertaker spot. Just come once a year and get your paycheck and be done.
Be the Mania guy.
Be the Mania guy. There you go. When they need to bring in a guy that says, "Hey, here's some draw power."
Yeah. Goosey, who are you thinking when Stone Cold makes his return? And it's pretty weird to be saying when as a more certain than not.
Like, is this like a certain thing? Like, this is
very
I heard a rumor
sources
about it, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like nonsense to me. Like,
you know what, man? It's the same thing. We were talking, and I'm sure we'll talk later on here. Like, Alex and I were having the same discussion when all the Cody Rhodes stuff came out. I'm like, no, there's no way he's leaving.
It's been a crazy week,
right?
eh?
It's been within 24 hours that shit all came out. But we'll get to Cody here in a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll continue on and do right by Bastard.
Honestly, like
there. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Like I know this is gonna sound real bad, but like I'm not up to date on my WWE. I haven't watched it in a while. Last time I think I watched WWE, I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens was babyface. Like, I'm pretty sure the last time I watched a Kevin Owens match was his bout at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think him and Steve Austin will absolutely have a barn burner of a match. There's no doubt about that. Even if Stone Cold even if he's limited, a worker as talented as Kevin Owens is still going to be able to get him through it safely and make it just awesome, right? Yeah. Other guys like, Roman Reigns is a good option. There's always the match we never really did get was Brock Lesnar and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then another low-key one that maybe not everybody's thinking about is Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Miz.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah,
those promos would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
That's a hell of a shout. Hell of a shout, Goose. I think Brock Lesnar, for me, like you said, is a pretty obvious one, both because I love the guy. But
the only thing I don't know
about.
Sorry, yeah. I was just saying the only thing is with Lesnar that's a little bit different than Kevin Owens is that Lesnar is I don't see Lesnar being capable of doing a match that's not really, really physically taxing on his opponent.
Yeah. You know what, though? For me, like, I've never wrestled a day in my life, so I just got to trust that if somebody's getting in there and if Stone Cold was to take it upon himself to get in the ring with Brock Lesnar, he knows what he's getting in there for. I had the same thoughts when like Daniel Bryan got in there just before or at Survivor Series, a few years ago, where it's like, is he really going to do this?
Trust me,
that was the match
Edge is another perfect example of that too.
Trust me on this. Getting German suplexed on your head sucks.
And that's the inside scoop here on Love Wrestling Sunday Brunch. Thank you for tuning in.
Newsflash.
All right, we'll see you next Sunday.
No, but all of those are great shouts. I think the other one for me that, like, if Stone Cold does, you reference Edge, if he turns into that Edge role more than the Mania Taker role that you're talking about earlier, Alex. If he was to have another, say he comes back at SummerSlam this year, I think that if you're going to tell a logical story, quote unquote, and keep continuity going, I'd like to see Stone Cold wrestle Seth Rollins. I think again, there's a very cool contrast, you know, in the same way we talk about KO and Stone Cold being very similar in the way they work and both being very physical guys, brawling guys. I think that Seth Rollins is in the best possible way, like very opposite of that, and putting him up against a guy like Stone Cold would be real cool. Holy shit, I just had again that moment of like we're realistically talking about this.
That's a very good suggestion, but the one I have where I just thought of it and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that is obviously after Kevin Owens. This is the first person you put him in the ring with because it's going to be crazy. Randy Orton.
Oh yeah, there's a good call,
Randy
too.
Orton and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Are you kidding me? 100%. Like Orton's old enough that he kind of was there for the tail end of Austin, you know, but he's also like he's the legend killer. And who is a bigger legend than Stone Cold Steve Austin at this point? You know,
I'm gonna pop a Spenny here.
The other guy to debut at WrestleMania this year, Cody Rhodes.
I'm gonna pop Spenny here for a second. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Braun Breaker.
Alex, we usually don't get too obvious on this show. Like, that's the money match. That's the match.
That's
Cold versus Braun. What versus Woof? I'm excited.
But,
316 versus 3 3/4.
Going back to the argument of Roman Reigns, though, too, like after what Roman was able to accomplish with Goldberg last night, all things considering, I mean, he dominated most of the match, but that was probably the least worst Goldberg performance I've seen in maybe ever, because I'm not a huge fan of Goldberg, but
Big Bill's on a hot streak.
The selling was pretty decent in that match last night, and it definitely went against the grain for what I expected it to go like. It was
so was it like a complete opposite situation?
I wanted to see Roman dominate, but like I think the best part was in the end was to have Goldberg look like he was about to go over a couple times, and Roman managed to have that guillotine and choke Goldberg out completely to the point where Goldberg looked red and purple in the face when he was going out at the end of it. It was a fantastic finish to that matchup last night.
I'm sorry to interrupt, friends, but we got to give a big old thank you to our friend Pluggo, of course, of Between Two Beards out there in the chat on Twitch. Gifting some subs, it's always appreciated whenever you tune in, whenever you throw support. Feel free to do so, but if you want to give a little bit extra, as Pluggo chose to do, throw a subscription our way.
Pluggo is the Oprah Winfrey of Love Wrestling. You get a sub. You get a sub. You get a sub.
And of course, friends, now is a great time to be gifting out subs and giving your own subs our way, because as of March 1st, we are going to be moving all of our live content over to Twitch. We've recently joined their Sports Accelerator program. I'm giving my little hooray over my way. Can't see that right now, but I'll do it again when this is gone. We're moving over on March 1st. All of our live content is going to be here on Twitch. All of the shows you love, Between Two Beards, Power Out, NXT, of course, Turnbuckle Talk, all of that great stuff is going to be heading over this way. Twitch is doing right by us, so let's do right by them. Of course, you'll still be able to tune into replays 24 hours later over on the YouTube side of things, but we like Twitch. They've supported us. They give us those cool little emotes, especially the goose one that Pluggo wouldn't throw out there earlier without some coaxing. But that is what it is. Do you guys want to give an exclusive, or do we want to talk about Cody Rhodes and then do that? I think that'll be fun. Which one do you want to do?
Let's talk Cody, since we already gave out kind of one exclusive already.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Cody. Of course, news coming out within, again, 24 hours of the Stone Cold news. A crazy news cycle as far as it goes. And both, if I recall correctly, broken by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com. Cody Rhodes no longer with AEW. Because he's the man. I have no other way to put it. Goose, if I knew, I'd be doing it. But Cody Rhodes no longer with AEW. That, of course, was confirmed by All Elite's Tony Khan and the Rhodes family themselves. It's been widely reported that Cody is heading back to WWE. Whether or not he's going to debut before WrestleMania, have a spot on the Mania card, come out at Mania at some point. Of course, with the Hall of Fame class, I would have to assume. Or if he's like a night after Mania debut, who knows? So let's chat about all of it. Let's chat about prospective opponents. Let's chat about the news itself. Bobby, we'll kick her off with you. We started the comment section with you or ended the comment section, excuse me, last time with you. So let's kick off with you. Thoughts on this is probably, and I'm sure someone will get thrown out there that I may have forgotten about, but this is probably the most sudden or shocking, excuse me, like departure, whether it's a release, whether it's anything in like years. This is like Moxley at least.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because the boot's on the other foot. Like, I mean, if he comes back to the WWE, this is the first time we've seen somebody who kind of went out to the AEW crowd and is coming back the other direction. So it's a very unique situation, to say the least. I'm very excited about it. I like Cody Rhodes. Maybe it's a little bit of a personal thing too, because I got to call one of his matches and stuff like that, and work with him here, kind of. So I mean, I'm a big fan, regardless of what the man does. I think he's also very talented in-ring professional, and I think this is be huge for WWE to secure him just in time for WrestleMania. When we're talking prospective opponents, I know Goose mentioned him earlier for against Stone Cold, but Randy Orton, I think, versus Cody Rhodes is a match that I want to invest in and I want to see have happen, especially with the level that Cody has accelerated himself to. I can't imagine any other way of bringing him in other than as a upper mid card to like main event level talent off the hop, right, when he makes his debut.
Oh yeah, that guy's got to be like he is. I don't think there's another way to put it. The guy's a main event wrestler. He just is.
I kind of feel like they should like do a play on the old gimmick that Dustin Rhodes did in WCW, where he was 7, and they should have Cody Rhodes come back, but then force him to be Stardust, and then like he gets so fed up and frustrated, and like just beats the trash out of what's his name, Scrap Daddy,
Vincent Kennedy Pierce. McMahon.
Yeah. But no, I don't think he should beat up Vince McMahon is like 80 years old. I don't want to see that. But like,
speaking of great Kevin Owens moments, if we're gonna go back on that one, oh my.
I just like the only thing I don't agree with about seeing Cody and Randy go. It's not because I think it would be a bad match or anything. It's just I've already seen it like a bunch of times, you know?
Yeah, they did the whole legacy feud. They did all that.
I'd love to see Cody versus Riddle.
I'd like to see Cody versus Ted DiBiase Jr. Why not? There's the one that we need to get on that end of things. A couple of people hopping in the comments, so sorry to interrupt, but we got a shout out when Astrid's hopping in the comments. Good to see you, Natural. Thank you for joining us. And of course, Dare Amazing, good to see you as well. Thank you for hopping in. Aaron, Lover Wrestling should run in Calgary too. Let me tell you, friend, if we find a venue, we might be seeing you sooner rather than later. And of course, the Natural shirt and the Blowing the Budget shirts, both now available on What a Maneuver. A huge thanks to them for their support of not only us, but a ton of members of the independent professional wrestling community. Why not? While we're talking about Love Wrestling, this one ain't an exclusive by any means, but if you're located in Edmonton, Alberta, or anywhere within driving distance, or hell, if you want to fly in, I ain't going to stop anybody on that end of things. We're running another show, you guys. It's going to be a great time. Very excited about it. And on Friday, we announced our main event. Here you go, friends. We'll see you in about 42 seconds. Yes, Golden Boy Travis Williams making his first appearance in Alberta. Of course, the NEW champion out in BC. If you guys have the opportunity, check them out. There's a lot of accessible independent professional wrestling out there on the old internet machine, and NEW is one of the promotions that I would highly suggest that you guys check out if you've got the opportunity. If you've got the chance to, come check out Golden Boy's debut in Alberta as he takes on God's gift to wrestling, Michael Richard Blaze, for the first time ever. That'll be taking place at the Rec Room South Common on March 25th here in Edmonton, Alberta. And Pluggo, you are bang on. That song is a banger. Calling All Captains Steady Pensive is available on every major streaming platform. Again, support great Canadian wrestling, support great Canadian music if you've got the opportunity to as well. Throwback, good to see you, man. What's good, guys? Lots is good. We're Sunday brunching, and you're in the comment section. It's a great day. What's good, guys, with the chamber behind us? Who or what matches do you see happening with a surprise return or debut? Do you see the NXT title being used in the future to be used on a Mania pay-per-view? Much love, guys, listening in while at work. Thanks again for doing so, man. I'm going to answer the second question first. No, I don't think the NXT title is going to be on either of the Mania cards. I think they're doing that stand and deliver event, if I remember correctly, on the same day as Mania Night 1. I think they're doing that at like noon, and then Mania is starting at like 4.
Wow.
Mountain time. That's going to be a very long day.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch it all, but fuck, that's going to be
really
long.
Make sure you got a lot of cold beers ready to go for that one.
I feel like that's like if COVID wasn't a thing, it wouldn't be happening because nobody has that like attention span, you know. But now since we've all been like used to sitting in our houses and binging Netflix, like it ain't a big deal. Yeah, I'll watch wrestling all day, sure.
I would have done that beforehand too, but let me tell you, that ain't anything to compliment my attention span by any means. Bobby hopping back in as well, and this is maybe where we'll start to answer a bit of throwbacks. First part of his question, and we can tie it back into our discussion from prior to. I'd like to see Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn, says Dream Match, Bobby. I agree. I think that'd be a hell of a tilt. I think that Cody Rhodes is going to be the guy that if we're talking about a surprise return or debut or anything like that, it seems locked enough for me that I think that Stone Cold and Cody Rhodes are your two guys that you're going to see both on the Mania card. And if you don't see Cody Rhodes on the Mania card, he'll be night after Mania. He'll be like that proverbial closing shot of Raw where they're showing the little copyright stuff at the bottom. What is Cody Rhodes doing here? Tune in next week to Monday Night Raw or whatever it might be, right?
And that might be the first time Raw left on a legitimate cliffhanger in the last 5 years too.
I'd love to see Cody Rhodes wrestle Shinsuke Nakamura. I think that'd be pretty badass too.
Shinsuke, I think for me, again, I went back to him earlier, but I think there's a really cool story to be told with him and Seth Rollins. Like, I mean this in the most positive ways, despite maybe some of the negative connotations that come with it. But Seth Rollins, for better or for worse, has been like the very vocal WWE guy, quote unquote, over the last few years. Now, take that statement for what it's worth. But with, Cody leaving, obviously, and choosing to leave and founding AEW and being very pro or anti-WWE sounds very negative. Very pro everywhere but WWE, maybe is a little bit of a better way to put it. I think there's a cool match there to be made. Dara hopping in as well with a great comment. Let Cody fight an NXT guy. I think it'd be really cool.
I know it's a comment. Damian Priest for the does he have the Intercontinental or the US title?
US title.
US title.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that would be really good too.
I think so.
They both
too.
have I'm pretty sure they both use the same finish.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be really cool. Like, again, I know it's something that's been thrown out there on socials already, so by no means is it a unique idea on my part, but there's been a few suggestions of like Cody coming in and like taking over NXT from Triple H. And I think that would just be a hilarious way to go with things. I really hope that, like, I don't know how you do it, but like Cody Rhodes comes in and smashes shit. I don't know.
Another
throne. Something like that.
Another good option would be,
back together.
I mean, had he not made a complete ass of himself at the Royal Rumble backstage, from what I heard, would have been Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon versus Cody would have been I would have been down with that for sure.
Oh, Shane O'Mac.
I'm sorry. I'm a Shane McMahon fan. I've always found his matches to be really exciting. You know, I mean,
When I
sure,
go in to refill my coffee
he's-
here in a minute, I'll go put my Shane McMahon jersey on. I love me some Shane O'Mac. This is
like
the funniest thing I've ever heard, to be quite honest with you. Shane McMahon at like 50-something years old, backstage politicking, and Randy Orton falling down laughing backstage about it. Like that's some Three Stooges shit, you guys. That's comedy. That is comedy. I cannot wait. If there's ever not a dark side of the ring, but if there's ever like a 5-minute backstage YouTube exclusive on this shit, I will be locked in. Funniest thing I've ever heard. Quite literally.
Do like a full on like 6-episode documentary run on the life of Shane McMahon.
Just do you remember when they did that like 20-minute? Do you remember when they did that like 20-minute Tom McGee versus Bret Hart documentary? Like, I would watch a 20-minute Shane McMahon at the Royal Rumble 2022
Royal Rumble 24,
like that. And I would watch it if like 19 minutes of it was just Randy Orton laughing at Shane McMahon. It's the greatest. Randy Orton has turned into the coolest dude in the world, by the way. I just think that needs to be recognized.
Trying to go like toe to toe with like Brock Lesnar and stuff. Like,
I don't know what I heard too, and I believe it was Fightful Select again that reported this as well, was that Randy Orton and Shane McMahon, basically their entrance orders got screwed up. So I might be wrong here, but I think Randy was supposed to enter at 27 and Shane was supposed to enter at 28. Shane's music hit for 27. And Randy fell down laughing, saying, well, there's no way I'm entering to that.
Oh, that's never happened to me at a local independent wrestling show.
There's never music issues in indie wrestling shows.
No, the sound
Please
guys
excuse
nail
the
it
music
every
issues
time.
from the First Love Pro Wrestling show.
They had to be ribbing him. Like, it's the WWE. They don't make that kind of mistake. They were ribbing Shane McMahon 100%. And that's probably why Orton was laughing so hard, is because he knew it was a rib.
I think it's the funniest thing ever. Shane McMahon getting ribbed will never not be funny.
I think Shane McMahon.
Spencer, be nice to Shane. The dude's a billionaire. I can punch up. That's fine. I'm sitting here in a house I really like, but a house I'm certain is nowhere near comparable to Shane McMahon. So I can punch up. It's very funny, but because here's the thought: is it funnier to either of you guys the thought of Randy Orton entering to Here Comes the Money, or Shane McMahon entering to Voices? Because I laugh at both of them every time I think about it.
I almost have no doubt in my mind that Orton would start doing the dance out to the ring. Yeah,
Randy Orton doing the Shane O'Mac shuffle is something that I need. That would be somehow it would eclipse the time that he like did the jumping splits.
He just starts popping his opponents with potatoes. Poo, 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 a little dance. Poo.
Oh, Shane O'Mac. You glorious.
Like I say, we're sitting here and kind of taking the piss out of Shane McMahon, but I have always found his matches to be really exciting. His ring work is sometimes not super crisp.
He has earned at least a few $100 for me. I'll go put the jersey on.
The match between Shane McMahon and Kurt Angle at the King of the Ring in 2001 is like one of the best matches I saw that whole year.
Shane's insane. I want to stress, I love me some Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
I love the idea of Shane O'Mac. It's the first thing I'm going to do when I get WWE 2K22. The first thing I'm doing is I'm doing like a create a match of Shane McMahon entering the Voices and Randy Orton entering too.
Nice. You'll have to give me your gamer tag and we'll play.
I will. I'll lose.
I've got her on
we should do it on Blowing Off Stream.
We should, because I got that game lined up too for.
I'm good. I just have.
Did I hear Blowing Off Stream?
You did hear Blowing Off.
We got to do it.
These days, I gotta hop back on here one of these days and do some. I gotta play some Oregon Trail again. I got to go with Evolution featuring Mark Jindrak. Personal favorite of mine.
Don't be crapping on Jindrak.
Hey, I like me Jindrak. There's nothing wrong with Mark Jindrak other than the way he wrestled and everything outside of that.
I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't think he was, he's just a guy. Kind of.
Most importantly, he
My
tried
favorite,
his best and had fun. And that's what matters at the end of the day. If you try your best and have fun out there, love wrestling fans, you will always be a winner in our books.
A winner is
that
you.
was the best sales pitch I've heard all day.
Thank you very much.
Love
Please like,
wrestling
share,
and-
I got
subscribe.
pinned, but I'm a winner.
Love wrestling and love yourself. There you go.
Let's love wrestling. But most importantly, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? And wrestling, of course. We're about 40 minutes in. You guys want to announce another match?
Sure.
I think that'd be fun
Yeah,
for
let's
us
do it.
to do. I think
I'm
it'd be really
curious.
fun.
I don't even know what the actual card is, so I'm
I know it's very fun for me. I've kept her very
we're
close
keeping
to the
everything
chest.
very close. Yes, yeah.
Yes, this one will be officially announced tomorrow. So please, guys, unless you're tuned in live, don't announce this one. But ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, to quote a great friend in Joel Pearl, friend of the show, friend of life itself. Here's your second match for LPW2. Don't want to grow up. A big ol' hell yeah, friends. I am real excited that our second match for LPW2 Don't Want to Grow Up is official. Nicole Matthews and Casey Spinelli, excuse me. I don't think I need to sing their praises any more than I already do, but hell, two of the best in professional wrestling, whether you're talking women's wrestling, Canadian wrestling, any wrestling. Two of the best that you are going to find, taking on two of the best in Alberta, Ava Lawless and Zoe Sager. That one taking place March 25th in Edmonton, Alberta. If you've got the opportunity to be there, I would highly suggest you do so. We'll be sending out the links, all of that sort of stuff throughout the week, throughout the month, right up until we take over the Rec Room once again. And if you've got the opportunity to tune in, we're going to have some streaming information coming your way. Yes, I promise it's going to work this time. Otherwise, I will end up with some real egg on my face. But c'est la vie. If it wasn't for mistakes, I wouldn't be alive. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be a hell of a card presenting, again, some of the best you're going to find above the 49th parallel. We're bringing her to the world. I cannot freaking wait, you guys. Bobby throwing a great question in there, and one that actually ties in fairly well to the best in Canadian wrestling. You like the new faces for the Knockouts division on Impact Wrestling? A big hell yeah, man. I don't think I need to tell you guys any more than, again, I have before. I love me some Giselle Shaw. I think that she's been fantastic wherever she's went, whether it was her time here in Alberta, whether it was over in the UK, where, of course, she was the Rev Pro and the Progress Women's Champion over the last little bit. She's terrific. And
Good for
I
her.
think that adding
I
her
didn't
to
know she went to Impact.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
only
man.
debuted. Bobby, you'll know better because I admittedly need to catch up over
I
the
think it was
last.
about a week and a half ago. Like, it's
Yeah, it was
within
either the last
couple weeks
episode or
whatever
the
that she
episode
officially debuted or whatever. But there was the writing on the wall. I mean, they did a tease and stuff with the quintessential diva put up on the screen and everything like that. And then officially, I believe it was a couple weeks ago that she made her on-screen debut for them, and phenomenal. I mean, just congratulations to Giselle for getting that level of respect. She works hard. She grinds hard. She's earned it all over the world, and she is going to be a megastar.
Yeah.
I can tell you this too, just from personal experience. I trained down at the Top Talent Wrestling Academy. MRB is my trainer. Definitely go to see the MRB match because that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah,
But
he's a great
Zoe Sager is there literally every single day. And she works her ass off. And one day she is going to be in the WWE or AEW or wherever she wants to go. And she's going to be there because that's where she deserves, man.
Zoe's still holding an undefeated streak here in Saskatchewan in singles competition, not beat by anybody in the Saskatchewan side since making her debut here.
Yeah. Well,
and I think it's insane, man. Like, you look at the Albertan wrestling scene and the Albertan women's scene specifically through, I'll even go with the last decade through my time in like actually consistently getting out and going to shows and all of that sort of stuff. And like, whether it's Giselle, whether it's Rachel Ellering, whether it's Kat Von Hees, or you look at the people today.
Yeah, I'm
Ava
not trying to
Lawless,
bury
Zoe
any of the other girls. I'm just saying
it's
Zoe
insane,
is
man,
incredible.
because you've got such a wide variety of them, right? Like, even look at people like Ali Zwicker and Kylie Morgan that came through here for a little bit. Like, there's a lot of talent. And of course, I'm not ignoring, I'm just saving one to answer a question. Will the Love Wrestling Elite Championship be defended on our show March 25th? Of course. The Love Wrestling Challenge champion Taryn from Accounting will be live and in the flesh here in Edmonton. We'll be announcing her match in the next couple of weeks. Will be defended. We'll keep you up to date. But yeah, like you look at individuals like that, and I think it's just such a cool time now. But it's really been a consistently cool time out here in Alberta for about the past decade. And I know, Bobby, I can't really speak to the consistency in Saskatchewan. I only live here, damn it.
Well,
but
on down for
I know we
visit
can speak, and that's exactly it. We can speak to the same there, and we can speak to the same in BC, right? You look at the opportunities people like Liza Hall are getting right now, going down and wrestling for Terminus, and Nicole Matthews, Casey Spinelli, obviously out in Ontario. You look at Alexia Nicole and Jody Threat. Like, Taylor Rising, too, is someone that I've only really just gotten to start to watch wrestle. But damn, we're very blessed in Canada. Yeah, really, like we're really very blessed in Canada, man, with a great overall wrestling scene, but a great women's scene, right? It's damn cool time to be a Canadian professional wrestler. Throwback, how can you challenge for that title? Get booked on a Love Pro Wrestling show, wrestle our champion, whoever it may be at the time, and defeat them. That is how you will win the Love Wrestling.
How do you get booked on the Love Wrestling show? I'd like to know.
Please send your resume.
Start your training.
Please send resume and your CV along with 3 references and $100 finder's fee to Spencer at lovewrestling.ca. It would be great. Okay, book it. All right. I'll just do that. We don't pay transit fees. Sorry, throwback. At least not from Massachusetts specifically. Bobby hopping in as well, just throwing in some fact checking for us that I certainly needed. Giselle wrestled Lady Frost on February 17th, 2022. And Lady Frost as well, I know she's maybe not a new addition, quote unquote, if I remember right. Again, she's been there for about the last 6 months, but she's been absolutely terrific. I quite like her. And you talk about great wrestlers, but great characters in pro wrestling, and I think she just plays it absolutely perfectly, right? Who would have thought that someone as Canadians, I'm sure we could speak to the fact that I certainly would not have loved a winter-based character in professional wrestling, and I friggin' love me some Lady Frost, right? By my money as well, and I'll throw this out here maybe for some debate, the best moonsault in the business right now.
Better than mine?
You know what? We
I
as
love
Canadians,
but holy cow.
So, I'm sorry.
Guys, there's 3 of us here that can attest to the Canada side of things, but I'd like to know Alex's opinion on the question that got brought up and stuff like that, being outside of Canada. Like, you've seen Impact with Giselle possibly, or not. I don't know. I'd like to get Alex's take on it too.
So what was the question to begin with?
About the faces of the Impact Knockouts division and stuff. And we got off on Giselle Shaw and Canadian
got
wrestling.
Off on Giselle. Astrid and I were actually talking about some potential fantasy booking. Originally, Deanna didn't have it. It was an open challenge last night for the title. So we were thinking, maybe Athena or Taya Valkyrie, or like I even kind of threw in a Brandy
That's
Rhodes
good
there.
Canadian Taya Valkyrie.
Oh, I'm sorry, my
throw that one out there when we're talking about great Canadian wrestling here.
Great Canadian
Taya Valkyrie.
Are the Iconics in Impact Wrestling now?
They're the inspiration.
They'd be good too.
You're the inspiration. Missed opportunity not licensing that.
Or having you see it sing.
Sorry to subject everyone to my singing too. It's not good at the best of times.
We'll have Love Wrestling karaoke at some point, I swear.
We need to
Honestly,
we need to
I
clip that as
I
a
bet you we
preview.
could facilitate that. I bet you we could sub out a blowing off stream one of these Saturday nights for
I
a
would so allow
Love
it.
Wrestling online karaoke.
Let's go. Let's
Oh,
go.
we're gonna have to chat after this here stream finishes up.
Once
That's
the
dangerous.
social, what's the social get together thing mandates have been annulled, we could go to the karaoke joint and just take the camera with us and get lit
Oh
up and drink, and drink
I'm gonna
and
do
sing
it. I'm
and-
gonna do it in the comfort in my own home. I'm gonna sing
yeah.
to my stuffed animals and just broadcast that to the
Your
world.
poor dog. JP says he's gonna be.
We'll do it in a week. He's at his mom's place.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what we'll make sure we do. Because again, if I'm not going to subject humans to it, I'm not going to subject my dog to it.
I don't know.
Sorry, Alex, didn't mean to cut you off.
I heard.
You said karaoke, and my entire mind went.
I heard Nick Gage had a fun time listening to you sing. So
He liked the first two verses. I can tell you
Oh.
that. The third verse, I don't know if he liked as much.
Did you talk
I mean,
to
you know.
Nick Gage? Did you sing to Nick Gage?
I did when I was
Serenaded
in
him.
Vegas. When I was in Vegas, they did. So GCW held a few shows in Vegas, if I remember correctly, when I was down there with JPJ for SummerSlam weekend.
Mhm.
And
Cool.
the first night we were there, which of course coincided with my travel day, which of course coincided with my airport beverages at Chili's at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So
that's
we
the
got
airport, boys.
so I got into Vegas. We went to obviously meet with a few people, and then we went to what they were calling MD karaoke. And yeah, I serenaded Nick Gage with a rousing version of "Keep Your Hands to Yourself" by the Georgia Satellites. Let me tell you though, I'm pretty good at karaoke. I like to think. Luke, just kidding. I know it's not Luke. Lawrence, good to see you, buddy. What's up? Chatting wrestling here on Sunday Brunch. It is an absolute blast to get to do so. Bobby hopping in as well. Lufisto is a great wrestler. I completely agree. I've had the opportunity to chat with her, and we've had the opportunity here out in Alberta recently to get to see her wrestle live here for both BEW and Real Canadian Wrestling. A hell of an individual, a hell of a talent. Like I try and use the word legend lightly, but I fully believe that it applies to Lufisto. There's really no
100%.
other word
Did
for
you
it,
ever
to be quite honest with you?
You ever see the Cage of Death match where she gets like Death Valley drivered off the roof of the cage down through the floor and the floor busts? I was
Yep.
oh God.
I'm just going to throw a big old yep to that one, and we're
Yep,
going to move
yeah,
on
yeah.
so that other people can spare some stomachs for the non-death match fans in their love wrestling karaoke death match.
Lufisto's tough
I
as
will
nails.
I will not be taking part in any sort of death match. I can tell you that much. I will probably not ever be taking part in any sort of match. I took one brain buster. That was fine by me. I will leave I'll leave the cool spots to Judge Ben Omen. I'll leave him to that. Guy's the man. Alex, we were talking Canadian professional wrestling, so I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. You can either continue along those lines on maybe an outsider's perspective of the Canadian wrestling scene, or throw a topic our way. We've got about 13 minutes left here on Sunday Brunch. 12 if you want to include the fact that we got a minute to plug our shit when we close the show out. So
I do actually.
Oh, do we want to put him? Do we want to put him on the
Straight
spot, guys?
to it.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, we do.
No, we
I
don't.
knew we
No,
wanted to.
No, we don't.
Oh,
No, we
damn it!
don't.
You have the producer right.
I do. Yes.
Ah, shoot. I
So,
gotta fix that on the back
I
end.
will say this. Yeah, we fixed that. To kick
Thanks
me out
to
of
the
everything I
DJ
know.
chairs in the background.
We'll log you in every Thursday.
No, I just, I like enjoying and I like sponging in a lot of wrestling. So, during my time here at Love Wrestling, I've been watching a lot of more of Canadian-based wrestlers, even with Love Pro Wrestling's, changing the game last year. So I'm kind of watching a lot more of the Canadian native wrestlers to see who to keep an eye on. And I've been noticing a lot of people like Michael Richard Blaze, Mark, Goose is one of those guys.
Oh, you've seen my matches?
I've seen your matches, yes. Parrish is one of those guys. So I can't really make a comment on it right now because I'm still taking it all in. However, a lot of great talent up and coming.
I appreciate the fact that you're not going to bury me to my face.
Well, no, I wasn't talking about you. I wasn't talking about you when I said up and coming great talent. I was talking about everybody else in general.
Oh, okay.
So, but
the private chat here is going wild.
but I know
What
that there's a lot of
the
great Canadian
hell?
wrestlers. Yeah. I know there's a lot of great Canadian wrestlers to even come out of Canada. I mean, you look at your Christians, you look at your Jerichos, Chelsea Greens, which I still want to know how you got that interview. Just so many to name, and I think Canada has some of the best wrestlers to come out of it, especially when you have the legacy of the Dungeon and Bret Hart right there in it. There's no place in the states that have like, oh, you should go to this school. If you ever have a chance to go to this school, nothing like that. So a lot of great wrestlers coming out of Canada, with the exception of Goose. Maybe one day he'll be good, but
He just thanked you for
Just
not
a rib.
burying him to his face, Alex.
just a rib,
Come
just
on.
a rib.
Oh,
I got a few
Hold
of
on.
these.
He is learning from Michael Richard Blaze, so you can't fault him for that because he got a great trainer in Michael Richard Blaze.
Okay. Well, Michael, if you're listening to this, give him a little more.
If you want to fight about it, like
Here, hold on.
Spencer's
I'll
running the
message-
wrestling show like next month, buddy. Like
He said
hold
he
on. I'll
does
call
not
up
pay.
MRB right now. We'll get him
He
on the line.
said Spencer said he does not pay for trans, so that'd be on you.
that's true. You could hitchhike. I think it's still legal in the States. Once you get to the Canadian border, you might have some issues. I know it's not legal in Alberta.
We've got this thing going around right now called COVID. I don't think we should be, I don't want to hop in cars with strangers.
As of March 1st, it's officially over here in Alberta. It just
Really?
doesn't exist anymore. Yeah,
Same
it
here in
doesn't
Brock
exist.
Lesnar's Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it just doesn't exist. Isn't that neat how it magically just goes away?
That's how it works.
I don't want to talk about politics.
Neither do I. That's why I just sort of stared
That's
into the
why
camera.
we're talking wrestling here on Sunday.
And then we pulled up Bobby's comment. Who is next to challenge Deonna Purrazzo? The interesting thing there for me is that, so I will say too here, like I believe it was last night because I was only just briefly going through Twitter. I woke up late this morning, admittedly, but I was only briefly going through Twitter. As far as I'm aware, Taya Valkyrie is officially the #1 contender for the Reina de Reinas championship. So I think we can leave that one out of it because I think that one's pretty cut and dry as far as who the next challenger is. #1 contender. Good Canadian Taya Valkyrie. As far as the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, I think that's I think that's one of the coolest things out there, one of the coolest questions out there, because right now, I mean this in the nicest way, but there is no Ring of Honor. So you can quite literally have anyone, anywhere challenge for it. It's not like it's got to be a signed Ring of Honor wrestler or a Impact Wrestling star or whatever it might be.
Should be Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe Sager. That's where
No, I'm not even kidding.
Zoe, you know what, man? It's the nice thing is you could literally throw a dart at like any of. That's a bad way to put it. You could literally pick any women's wrestler here in Alberta right now, and I would have no issue with them going up against the best of the best, fucking anywhere. Anyway,
I'm saying all
I'll
these
throw
things,
that
I'm
gauntlet
afraid
down
of
there.
Zoe. Like I wrestle her.
Well,
and
you've got
it
every
is
right for
scary.
that.
Like,
Dude, I'm
she's
scared of
so
I'm scared
good.
of 99% of professional wrestlers.
But-
Look at me. This is not an athlete's body. It's like when you watch it's like when you watch The Water Boy. I was not blessed by the good Lord with charm or grace or any athletic ability. But you drew hope, Bobby Boucher. Sorry, I'm not gonna go.
Damn that smile, Spencer.
Sorry.
Medulla oblongata.
and alligators are ornery because of their medulla oblongatas. Oh my goodness, off the frickin' rails as per usual. Who is realistically next to challenge Deonna Purrazzo? I don't know if it can happen because by all accounts she's signed with WWE at this point. I'd love to see the Roxy rematch. I think that's a natural way for it to go. As far as ROH goes, like if I'm going to limit to that end of things, love to see a match with Max the Impaler. I think there's a very, very cool story to tell there. She was someone, or they were someone, excuse me for that one. There's someone who I think is like, when I saw that bracket for the ROH women's tournament, Max was someone that I thought was an instant pick to win it. It was a very cool way to get them out of it as far as Angelina Love goes, but I think that there's someone that could do. I don't know. I don't think there's really been any challengers that Deonna's had that's quite like Max. Like she hasn't really gone up against anybody that's your proverbial monster, had any of those bigger challengers. I think she's wrestled havoc for the championship. But even then, I'm not confident that match happened. I could be wrong.
I mean,
I think that someone that could like play that proverbial bigger monster and Max for me, I think fits that best.
I mean, if Zoe is off the table, there's another girl I'd like to see them bring in to wrestle for the title on Impact, and that's Sarah Logan. She was in the Royal Rumble recently, and I think that she's tough as nails, and I'd like to see her in a good old brawl.
I agree. Sorry, quick shout out in here real quick. So many handsome gentlemen in this video, says the judge, Ben Omen. Ben. It's good to see you, Ben. Unfortunately, one person that it had been not good to not see is Lumberjack Larry Woods. Friends, if you guys are located in Edmonton, Alberta, or frankly anywhere at this point, use the hashtag #FindLarry because we are looking for our friend Lumberjack Larry Woods. He's been missing since October 15th, changed the game, and we miss him greatly.
Yeah, I totally didn't kill him and lock him up and chop him into pieces, put him in my freezer.
That's dark. Wow, that escalated quickly.
And now we have to.
Holy shit, Goose.
If the NSA is watching this, he's
I feel like I've just got to offer a disclaimer.
Let's face the facts, boys. I put on feathers and call myself the Canadian Goose so I can fight people for money. I'm the craziest feather plucker here.
That did not
FBI, CIA
did not happen. And if it did, Goose, we're gonna have a real conversation about everything and anything.
I said it didn't happen.
What?
I explained. I said, no, I definitely didn't kill Larry and chop him into pieces, put him in my freezer. I definitely didn't do that. Yeah.
Good, at least that.
I hope he's okay. I hope Larry's doing well.
I have to ask, whose freezer did you put him in then?
This is,
you know.
This is bad. Really bad.
Poor Larry.
So, how about the plugs? How about the?
How can I,
Spencer?
I don't know how I can visually move further away from Goose.
Hey, Spencer, what's going on in the week of Love Wrestling?
Oh my goodness, I'm terrified. Alex, I'm going to move to you. Just going to move to you real quick out of terror. Who do you think is going to challenge Deonna Purrazzo for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship? Before we move on, like you said, to those Jesus Goose. Scared me.
We just had a special guest named Billy Starks on Between Two Beards. Would love to see her. She's getting a lot of traction. Would love to see her in a big time promotion like Impact or even NXT or AEW. You know, she's been on GCW for a while now, so it'd be nice to see her get a little bit of a push into the spotlight.
I agree. I completely agree. Bobby, I will let you close this one out as far as this topic conversation goes. Who would you like to see challenge Deonna Purrazzo for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship? Knockouts Championship.
This is easy and quick because I'm totally on board with Max the Impaler, so it's easy and quick for me. I mean, I've been singing Max's praises for a while now. That's what I want.
Can you maybe expand on it a little bit as I load the Twitch dashboard so we can get someone later?
So anyway,
are you able to expand on your thought a little bit so that I can get the Twitch dashboard?
Max the Monster Impaler would be a very vicious opponent for Deonna Purrazzo, and Deonna Purrazzo would find herself in a very sticky situation that she has never been in before, going up against Max the Impaler. Am I good now?
I think you're good. We're just loading, but it's getting to the point where my video is starting to catch up. So I think I'm doing okay here, you guys.
Didn't the WWE put?
Oh God, I opened full screen. I'm screwing myself up.
Impact Women's Champion, like when
they did, but I think that was just a branding thing on the WWE's end.
It's pretty weird.
They did you know what? Whatever. I think unless it's a big deal to anyone involved.
That's not
my
a big
opinion
deal.
Matters less than theirs. But like, dude, Mickie James got to come out with the Impact Knockouts Championship to Hardcore Country. I call that a freaking huge win. I was psyched. Hardcore Country hit, and that was the biggest freaking pop I got out of that whole freaking Rumble. And Mickie probably was going to be regardless. Don't get me wrong there, but hot damn. That was cool. I had advocated for that for a while. Bobby hopping in. I appreciate the fact check as well there. My friend Deanna Peraza wrestled Havoc on May 15th, 2021. Nice. That is good to know. As I pull up some options here. Oh, that's what we'll go do. We're going to go rate our friends, the Voros twins.
Oh, okay. That's solid.
That's what we'll do after this one. You can see the Voros twins in Edmonton, Alberta on March 25th as part of Love Pro Wrestling's Don't Want to Grow Up. Match announcements coming shortly. However, before those match announcements come up, we've got some stuff coming up here on Love Wrestling as far as content from the creative cats you see on the screen. I tried to figure out another C, but I couldn't, so I improv'd as best I could. Didn't go well. Yeah, it went badly, okay? I know. Tomorrow, speaking of the Voros twins, you guys are going to see them in their match from Change the Game, where they took on Son of Irish and Shotgun Sid Greed. You may be saying, Spencer, that was supposed to come out last week. Yeah, it was. I didn't get around to editing it because shit flew off the handle. That is what it is. You're also going to get the match announcement that you exclusively saw here on Love Wrestling Sunday Brunch. I ain't going to say it in case anybody's watching the replay, but that will be officially announced tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Eastern. We've got our regular back-to-back of Power Out and NXT on Tuesday. Thursday, we've got a hell of an evening for you. Magnificent Mitch Clark joining the Between Two Beards crew. And then we've got PCO, the Green Phantom, and Thaddeus Archer III joining us on the latest edition of Quizplex. Friday, we'll see Rich King of RK Athletics joining Smark and Friends. Saturday, blowing off stream. And Sunday, we're right back here. Same bat time, same bat channel on Twitch, playing the old Sunday brunch gimmick on our end of things. It is a great time, as it always is, as it has been today, not only because of you fine folks in the comment section on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, but because of the three handsome gentlemen as Judge Ben Omen judged. So that is law. We are handsome, you guys. Judge Ben has determined.
Can I get that in writing?
It is.
Yeah, we can get her in writing. I'll scroll back up the comment section here, Recta Guy. As
notoriety.
As you go ahead and plug your social media, I'll pull her right back up there.
Well.
So many handsome gentlemen. I would imply all handsome gentlemen on that end of things. And let me tell you, if it's 3 out of the 4, then I will be the one, rightfully so, to be the unhandsomest of the Love Wrestling Sunday Brunch crew today.
I'm just glad that Judge Ben Uman was able to keep his lust at bay while I was wrestling with Nasty Nate last night because he was reffing our match.
Love wrestling, Goose, not lust wrestling. They at least take you out for dinner first here on the channel. Alex, we're going to hop to you first, friend. Let's plug the social medias. Let's get them on. It's like they say in Monty Python, get on with it.
Yes, you can find me at That Ecto Guy on Twitter and on Facebook and on YouTube. And also, I've been starting a blog. I've been doing that thing. I've been doing reviews. I've been doing unboxings for cards. This week, I'm going to be starting to do some more wrestling figure reviews because that's the type of guy I am. I just have to, be able to type before I can drop any of those. But you can find me here with my friends on Thursday, Between Two Beards. We're going to have Mitch Clark. Make sure you tune in at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And then Saturday, we're going to have Blowing Off Stream, hosted by myself and whoever, decides to show up that night. We'll see what we've got going on.
Sounds good, friend. Goosey, I know that you might be there. We've got Sunday RCW wrestling next week. Until then, though, people should come and check the live events out. But if they've got 8 days in between to be keeping up to date with the Canadian Goose, how can they do so, friend?
Well, I do have Twitter there. It's Canadian Goose KS. I also have a page on Facebook, The Canadian Goose, which I'm trying to be a little more active on. You kind of doing a tandem thing with my Instagram. I do have an Instagram, which I believe is Real Canadian Goose, but I'm not 100% on that. But it does go over to the Facebook. Also, just Kyle Shaw on Facebook. No relation to Giselle Shaw, as far as I know. But that's basically what I'm doing. I put out a Monday Night Shaw last week with one of the fellas from the Dad Bod Squad. That was a lot of fun. I've got plans to record another Monday Night Shaw with Kato this week. So that should hopefully be out next Monday. And then I've also I spoke with Colton Kelly about revising the Goose Call, and we're
Cool.
gonna have come up with a new concept there, just where I bring on a guest and we're just gonna talk about one particular topic for 45 minutes or whatnot, and we'll just try to differentiate that from Monday Night Shaw, but no longer involve watch along videos, because that was not working and it was embarrassing me.
Well, great way to close that one out, Bobby.
How do I follow that up? Anyway, yeah.
How are we ever going to top that?
So as usual, you can find me over at my channel, the Video Bros Network, talking all things on Ring Respect Radio, and also as the commentary team on Prairie Pro Wrestling. But you can also catch me right here on this legendary run of Sunday Brunch. I'm keeping the streak alive each and every Sunday with you, the fans, because I love you guys. I'm going to keep this up. And also, I got something else in the works that might be music to your ears coming out very shortly. So stay tuned for that.
I was trying to find a way to work like the Mundertaker, but I feel like you got to get the S in there. You've got to have the S to make it Munson.
Of course.
Otherwise you could be anyone. Could be anyone.
The next Prairie Pro show is going to be?
I don't know officially, but we're hoping for something maybe in March coming up. We got to finish up the title tournament. We've got the semifinals and finals ahead of us, 4 left in that thing, and
Don't
crown our very first champion.
Don't counterbook us. Every date, but March 25th is open for you.
Well, I know for a fact that we might probably do the weekend before or maybe the weekend after. We'll see what happens.
Nice. But that weekend.
I'm hoping not. But you guys are on a Friday. That's on a Friday. We're always on a Saturday.
There's something going on March 25th.
100% unrelated topic. I've never wrestled in Saskatchewan.
I'll put in a good word.
I don't think that's actually unrelated. I'm just saying.
Alex, it was unrelated.
You're reading too much into this, Alex.
However, related to those 3 individuals plugging their own social media, I will now take the opportunity to do so for the brand. First and foremost, friends, thank you for tuning in. That's the most important thing, is that you guys took the time, when there's so much professional wrestling content out there on the internet machine, to spend it with us on a Sunday morning. So thank you guys for that. If you want to continue to do so, whether it's for our live videos, whether it's for our podcasts, anything like that, wherever videos are played or audio is listened to, you can find us at Love Wrestling CA. We're bringing you previews, reviews, breaking news, and interviews from the wide world of professional wrestling. If you want to get out there and support a little bit more, there are a number of ways to do so. Feel free to head to whatamaneuver.com. Feel free to head to the Love Wrestling shop on that site. We've got a couple of different options as far as shirts goes, whether it's the Love Wrestling Classic, the Natural Astrid Pizarro, B2B, and a number of new shirts coming on that end as well. You can also head directly to our shop. We've got a couple of exclusive items in there, as I know Throwback was asking about earlier, whether it's mugs that are going to be back in stock soon, I promise, whether it's stickers, whether it's masks, anything in between, we've got you hooked up there. And of course, friends, if you're in Edmonton, feel free to support us live and in the flesh on March 25th. We've got a lot of great Canadian talent heading to the Rec Room in Edmonton, Alberta for LPW2 Don't Want to Grow Up. It's going to be a hell of a show. I am so damn excited to be able to bring this to you guys once again from, I think, one of the future hearts of independent professional wrestling, YEG. So thank you guys for supporting there. If you want to pick up your tickets in advance, I'll send out the link on our social media, because the Eventbrite link is a long one to lead off with. So I ain't even going to bother your eardrums as far as that one goes. I'm hitting the start raid button because we're going to support our good friends over at the Voros Twins. Great individuals, great wrestlers based out of British Columbia. For our good friend Bobby Munson, for our good friend Alex, for our good friend Goose, I have been Spencer Love. Thank you guys for tuning in this morning. We will see you on the next one.